Namaskar, Jay Mohanji. Good afternoon. Alright, so this is something that I want to talk today and for a slightly longer period of time, maybe than the normal talk that I do. The reason being that I see a lot of it happening around me and I think it is important to talk about it. So my subject or my topic for today is fear. Now we all know this tagline which was made very popular by a drinks company, which is Dar ke aage jeet hai, right? We all know that. So whenever we are into some kind of an adventure sport, or whenever we are trying to pep up our friends, or whenever we're trying to motivate somebody who's scared of a particular situation, we are doing adventure sports, we always say Dar ke aage jeet hai, which is right. But then what is the reason for that? What is the logic? And I think I have spoken about it in few of my earlier sessions as well. What is fear? Fear is an emotion like every other human emotion. It is an emotion which the mind contemplates, and then your thoughts and your action actually makes it stronger. So it is something that you feed and you breathe. And therefore, if your mind refuses to acknowledge the emotion called fear, then there will be no situation of fear. That is point number one. It is also a basic human instinct to be fearful of a certain situation. And therefore, again, we say that, that the more you breed it, the more you feed it with your thoughts, with your vibrations, with your actions, the more it will snowball into something larger which does not exist. And we are all capable of manifesting things with our thought process. I'm sure a lot of you who are into energy practices or who are reading a lot about spirituality agree with the fact that there is something called collective consciousness which comes as a result of collective actions in our collective thoughts, and therefore it does manifest into something. So that is one element. Now it is very easy to say ki dar ke aage jeet hai. Conquer your fears and move ahead. How do we conquer our fears? We are living in a very realistic situation today where there is fear all around us. No matter how much the government is talking about that do not publish or forward news which is not correct, not authenticated. It is making appeals to the media agencies not to just go and publish anything. It is appealing to the social media companies that please regulate the information which goes through you. But no matter what all that is done, but we are living in an age of information, we are living in an age of social media, and therefore there is a lot of fear mongering which is happening. How do we control, or how do we kind of relieve ourselves of this? Easier said than done. Like I said, fear is an emotion, and any emotion, for us to overcome it, we need light, the light of love. When we are born, when we are babies, the only thing that babies know is that they are born to be loved, and therefore we always love, cuddle, and there is no other emotion which comes to our mind when we see a small baby, because that's the natural human basic instinct is to love. We are all born to love. And when we are in love with ourselves, our environment, our surroundings, we will learn, or we will know that no other emotion can coexist when there is love and when there is light. Now, what is light? Light is nothing but the knowledge which comes to us. Knowledge can come to us through various sources. One is through reading constructive literature, and if you look at any of the scriptures, or be it any religion, I'm not talking of a particular religion, if you look at the scriptures, the classical books, it talks about basic way of living your life, and one of the things that we do, a lot of us, I know a lot of my friends are doing, is reading the Gita, right? And I do it because I follow a particular religion. Again, I'm saying it is nothing to do with the religion. It is, every religion has a scripture which is equivalent to a Gita, and they propagate and they talk about the same messaging of love and of light. Okay, so why am I saying all this? Because it is very important right now, whatever is happening around us, that we go back to our basics. We try and understand ourselves. We try and calm and control our minds. We try not to get into fear mongering, because fear mongering only snowballs. It gets bigger and bigger till it grips you, till it tries to control you, and you will not be able to come out of the situation. So to come out of the situation, you need to have the love in your heart. Love will generate a lot of trust and faith. You need to have faith that there is somebody sitting above you, right? It could be in any form, it could be any energy, it could be anything, but there is a global consciousness sitting above you, who will take care of you. Knowledge is the sense of awareness where we know that we are all mortal. Nobody is immortal. Nobody is immune to this virus at this point in time. We have not developed a vaccine. We do not have herd immunity at this point in time. So the only thing which can take us through is the faith that whatever is going to happen will happen for a better tomorrow. Now, I am not saying that, some people may just argue that if you're infected and if you get the disease, then how is it better? The fact is, if you are infected and if you get the disease, is there any way? And if you have taken all the precautions which the government is talking about, is there anything that you can do other than to accept and to go through the treatment and to fight and to come back? There is nothing else. So that knowledge, that awareness, that acceptance is very important. I know it is easy for me to say, because probably I am one of those who are in the age brackets who are not high risk, but I have senior citizens living with me. I am responsible for their well-being as well. I have to ensure that the house is rightfully sanitized so that they are not exposed to any risks. So having said all of this, the message that I want to leave across today is that let fear not grip us. Fear grips where there is darkness, lack of knowledge. Darkness is basically lack of knowledge. Fear is an emotion. Emotions come from our minds or our intellects or our egos, and they are not the beings that you want to control yourself with. You want to be controlled by love. Love comes from your heart, and when there is love, there will be faith and there will be trust. There will be awareness, and when there is awareness, we will surrender. We will surrender to the situation around us. We will surrender to God Almighty, the power, our gurus, whoever we believe in. We will surrender and say, hey, I am at your feet. I know it is tough time. Me and my family, my friends, my neighbors, my country is going through a lot. But I believe that there is light at the end of the tunnel. This acceptance and surrender is what is going to pull us through the current situation. And along with this, the trust and the faith that the leaders who are leading us at this time, they are doing what they can. There is also a lot of argument nowadays, and every morning when I wake up, I see a lot of debates on various platforms that I am subject to as to what is the right way to isolate, to quarantine, to kind of contain yourself. There is no right or wrong. There is only a positive or a negative. And we know what is going to happen if in your surroundings there is a positive case. Until the time there is no positive case, what are the government guidelines for a negative case? We have to believe that the government, whatever guidelines they have set, there is sufficient data-backed research that they have done to come out, whatever is possible, whatever data the World Health Authorities or WHO or Johns Hopkins University or ICMR has from December to now, whatever data they have and whatever research they have done, whatever mathematical models they have formulated to predict the future, we have to believe that the guidelines are in line with that, and we have to follow. Let us not get stricter or harsher on ourselves, which I see a lot of people trying to do more and stretching, because it is not that this lockdown is going to end on 3rd May or 15th May or 30th May. We don't know. It could be some time. Our lives will be like this for some time till there is a vaccine or till there is a herd immunity. Now, whoever has read a little bit about herd immunity, we know that for herd immunity to develop towards any disease, you at least 50% of the population around you has to be exposed to the disease, which means if there has to be herd immunity developed for Indians, right? I'm just talking about India, where we are 130 crores of people. Are we saying that at least 60-65 crores have to go through the infection and then we develop? Yes, that is what the medical journals say. Whatever I have read, maybe, some people can kind of argue with me, debate with me. I'm open to debate. I'm open to more information or journals on this, but this is what it says. So in the given scenario, that is a long time to go. As India, we have done a great job. The government has done a great job. We have to follow what the government is saying. But my only request to my friends and people around me is don't get overcautious, because then you stop living the present and you start living in the future of, oh my God, what's going to happen to me if I'm infected? Do not live in that situation. Do not live in the fear of that. Live in the awareness that today we are safe, we are healthy. It could be that even after taking precautions, we could be infected. If we are, then we will surrender. We will do what is best. But do not stop living the present and do not stop taking precautions. But at the same time, do not go overboard. Do not keep thinking the whole day through that what's coming in, what's going out, who is coming, which delivery, which this. It is just going to drain your energy. Instead, there is so much to be done around us. Let us try and put those efforts, because I know apart from people who are struggling between working from home and managing family, and they are obviously substantially busy, but there is also a lot who may not have, like for me, I mean, none of my businesses are operational, and therefore I kind of can't, there is nothing much I can do. But how can I keep myself constructively engaged? And that's where the Gyan of Gita will help us. We have those of you who are into reading the Gita, we have read about chapter 3, right? Karma Yoga, right? It talks about the fact that when you have light. So chapter 2 talks about the stage of direct perception, or talks about the fact that when you don't have the light of knowledge, then you are gripped with fear, anxiety, depression, and therefore you are not able to take the decisions that you would otherwise take. Whereas chapter 3 of Gita, the Karma Yoga, talks about that when you have the light, when somebody like Krishna is there and he's telling you that this is what knowledge is, and knowledge brings you out from darkness to light, then what is it that you have to do in your life to keep that knowledge going? That is what some of us will have to do in our lives today, which is that use the knowledge around us to keep us constructively busy. And it is not that difficult. We know that India is really challenged with the problem of migrant workers, daily wage earners, slum dwellers. Obviously, the government has taken a very harsh step. It had to rightfully take the step to contain the disease. But having said that, a lot of small and medium businesses and all of the daily wage earners, migrant workers have been impacted. They don't have 2 square meals a day. Why don't we put our knowledge of such things to use and try and find a method to help them? Why don't we use our time constructively to help people who are, I mean, at least in Bangalore, I can say, those of us who are in the new areas of Bangalore, extended Bangalore, there is a lot of migrant workers, slum dwellers, rack pickers, lot. I mean, I can't tell you the numbers on a session like this. Maybe if anybody is really interested, connect with me, and I will share the numbers with you. How can we help them? Even sitting at home, we can do a lot of things to help them. We can coordinate with vendors who can actually make ration kits and supply it to them. We can coordinate. There are volunteers who have government passes. We can coordinate with those volunteers and help them. This will keep us very constructively busy. We will be happy to see that some lives are being impacted. That happiness will create the love in our heart. The love will create the trust that there is is an almighty above us and making us do the right things, and that trust will keep the fear and the anxieties away and keep us constructively busy. As they say, an idle mind is a devil's workshop, rightfully so. So let the mind not be active and idle. Let the mind just be just be there. We don't give it attention. Let us operate from our hearts, from our love, from our trust, from the faith. Elevate ourselves to come to a situation where we only shower love. We think of doing something for someone with love. We create that awareness in ourselves. And as we do that, slowly, we will create a collective consciousness where every person that you talk to, you meet, maybe not meet anymore, but meet digitally, you kind of spread the same message, and there is a collective consciousness of love, surrender, or rather love, faith, surrender in the same order. And surely in future we will overcome this situation. I mean, think of it, friends. For years, Somalia has been a drought-ridden, has been a famine-ridden. It's been a country which have not had means, but people are still living. When you see the pictures of the Somalian kids who just get a bread in their hands and how happy they are, isn't it a reason to make you happy? They are also living for, and think of people living in Libya for the last ever since the civil war. Think of people living in Syria. They are still living, whatever it is. So we are far better. We can have that gratitude that this is a phase. We are safe in our homes. Some people do not even have a home. Let us give them that home. Let us think of how to give them that home, and let us remove the darkness and come into light. And with that, I think I've done a lot of talking today because it's coming right from my heart. It's something that I've been wanting to say to a lot of my friends and family, that have the faith. This is a phase. It will go on. And one of the best ways, as I keep talking about, to improve your awareness, consciousness, is to chant. Because chanting there is a lot of scientific research and which has gone into it, that we are all creatures, or we are all made out of an electromagnetic field, because we have cells in our body, and those cells talk to each other through some neuron receptors, and therefore there is a magnetic field. The earth is a magnetic object which has polarities. It has a north pole and a south pole, and therefore we are attracted towards the center of the earth using gravity and some kind of magnetic forces. So therefore, when you chant, there is vibrations in those chants which interact with the molecules and atomic environment around you, the air, the what we call the cosmic layer, and those vibrations come and hit our body surface, our aura. Aura is a protective layer which protects each and every one of us, and it is around 2 inches it is 2 inches higher than the surface of the body, and it encircles us. So when you have these positive vibrations around you, when you have the chanting, and whatever chants you want to follow, it doesn't matter, it has to be this or that, anything, any of the chants by any religion has very, very high level of vibrations, and those vibrations create an element of positivity, and the cells are recharged. And when the cells are recharged, we are recharged, our hearts are recharged, we are aware, we are more conscious, and we are elevated. I think that's a lot. With that session, with that talk, let us start the chant for today. I know I have taken a lot more time than I usually do. So without much ado, we will start. And please feel free to chant as long as you can. It need not be 108 every time, but make it a way of life. That's all. So with that, we center our body, few deep breaths, and we will start. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्। ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात् ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो न प्रचोदयात्. And the last three chants, we will say it very slowly so as to absorb the vibrations into our physical aura. Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhurvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ॐ भूर्भुवस्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात्. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्ति. So, how's everyone? This is my little daughter here trying to make all sorts of background noise while I was chanting. Would you like to come and say hi to everyone? Come. Come. Come here. Minnie Mouse. Okay, so I am feeling better. I also felt a lot of stillness today while I was chanting, which was not the case yesterday. This is what collective consciousness does to you. You know, it kind of grounds you together as a team, as a force. You know, the force to reckon. With that, I think, I will end the session for today, leaving the message that please take care, but don't get overtly anxious. Don't fear more than what is required. And anybody who wants to engage in constructive volunteering can directly message me, contact me. I would be happy to guide. On behalf of AmuCare, we are going to do more seva for the slum dwellers, daily wage earners who are in our environment where we have access to. Any kind of contribution, donations are welcome. There are all the work that we do are posted on my Facebook page on a daily basis. So happy for any support that comes along. Tomorrow I will not be taking the session, and I want to announce it today because I always do a last minute cancellation, which is not fair. Tomorrow we are doing there is a volunteering which has come up. I will not be leaving my house, but I will have to do a lot of coordination for the distribution, and then I shall post an update for that. Saturday I intend to talk about something very interesting and maybe new for many of you. There is a concept called access consciousness, which is basically because we are in this situation today. I just thought this morning that I should be talking more about access consciousness. Now, access consciousness is a concept which has been developed in the US, and I shall talk more about it on Saturday. But the objective of the theory of access consciousness is to access your own conscious, which is deep within the subconscious mind, which you generally don't utilize, and to make the most of yourself and your life. So in this, there is a mantra that we use. It is called, when the practitioners of access consciousness, we constantly say this mantra: all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. And there is a trademark on this as well, but I shall talk about it more on Saturday. So with that thought, with that mantra that all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, we end the session for today. Jai Mohan Ji.